A code is just a way of getting things done. If you're going to do anything, plumbing, if you're going to put up a building, you do it according to a code. And what is a code? A code is something that is established based on precedent. And that is certain things that you do and certain things that you don't do. And by you not doing certain things and doing other things, and you find that the things that you do work, and the other things that don't work, you don't do. That's all a code is. Don't do something that doesn't work. Like I've outlined, when a black person is pulled over and by a law enforcement officer who may or may not be a racist, but the black person does three things that should not be done. It's been proven that these three things should not be done because usually they do not work. They simply don't work. So the code says the three F's in that type of situation. Don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee. Now that first one, fussing, meaning cursing, being discourteous, even though the officer may be discourteous to you, talking about what your rights are, screaming and yelling, name calling, that type of thing. That's fussing. Not doing what the officer tells you to do. That's fussing. All right? Tell him you ain't going to do it, or you don't have, he or she doesn't have the right to tell you to do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. None of that. None of that sitting by the roadside drama when you've been pulled over, particularly in the northwestern hemisphere. All right? Don't fuss. Don't fight. I mean, you start fighting those handcuffs and all like that when you're told you're under arrest and all like that. No, don't do that. Don't fight. Don't try to push the officer away from you, saying you're standing too close to me. Get off of me. And you push the officer back. Take your hands and push it in the chest or something like that. Or you swing on him with your fists. Don't fight. Don't fight. Don't fuss. Don't fight. And the other thing, the third, don't flee. Take off running across the cornfield, like you see on some of the television programs. People doing that over and over again. Where do you think you're going? I mean, you're going to another planet? How far do you think you can run? I mean, it's 12 o'clock at night, you're out on a highway. I mean, you know, a highway probably that you haven't even been down, and you're going to take off running? Where are you going? It's not a matter of what you're running from. It's a matter of what you're running to. Are you going to run up in the hills because you got an army up there waiting for you that's going to back you up? I mean, and turn back the aggression. The minute they see you, they say, well, here comes that fella that we're going to protect. To arms, everybody. Paul Revere. So your army is going to come sweeping down out of those hills, and repel the aggression. The people who are chasing you. Not likely going to happen. Mm-hmm. So where are you running to? Mm-hmm. Don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee. That's just an illustration to talk about code, all right? Have a code.
Okay.
And part of that code is don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee.
Yes, sir.
I don't care if you're in your wedding suit. If you're told to get down on your knees, get down on your knees. Why? Because if you don't do that, it's not going to work for you. It's going to work against you. Now, what does that mean? That's what I mean by code. Who's striking me? This is not a little, get together down at some bar, or a misunderstanding in a high school. I am a captured enemy. That's how I'm looked at. I'm already in captivity. Mm-hmm. A prisoner of war doesn't if he slapped or she is slapped, slap the aggressor back. A prisoner of war doesn't do that. All right? You're a prisoner of war. You're already in captivity. You're captured before you were born. If you're a black person on this planet, you're under the system of white supremacy. You're in a prison system called the system of white supremacy. You have to look at yourself that way. You're not some type of free person walking around. You were born in a prison. And that prison is established under the banner of being anti-black. The system of white supremacy is a prison for black people, making the whole planet a prison for a person who is black. So you act like a prisoner of war. So knowing that, that's a frame of mind. That's what I mean by a code. I'm a prisoner of war. And nobody's coming for my rescue. I don't have anybody who can stand by me. There's nobody out there that I can rely on to come and take care of business for me. All I got to do is call on them. No, you can't be in that frame of mind at all, because there's no black person on this planet can save you from the white supremacists. Keep that in mind. That's rock solid code. No black person on this planet, maybe on another planet, can save another black person from the wrath of the white supremacists. That's what is meant by the system of white supremacy.
Okay.
Nobody who is of color can overrule them once they make their rule. Nobody.
Okay.
You have to get another white person to do it. And if that white person is not available, you are in serious trouble, period.